Welcome back to Pay-Per-View. The idea today is going to make some ninja stars. We've got a ninja here, needs to be armed. I'm going to teach you two types of ninja stars, a simple one and a little bit more complicated one. First one, really simple. The aim is one sheet of paper, one square of paper, but we need the piece of paper split into two rectangles. So there's your first task. Nice and evenly crease it so that it's in half. Then, using scissors, or a knife, or a katana blade, I'm using a paper splitter, split it so that you've got two rectangles. Now what we have to do is we have to do two halves that are mirror images of each other. So I'm going to fold them side by side so you can see. The end result is this thing. Notice please, the two colours. And it's locked, it's the same on both sides. And it's really nifty for flinging. Alrighty, so start with one of your papers up the other way if you're using two colours. If you're not using two colours, it still works fine with white. Right, that's one made completely with white. Looks fine, also flings really well. Alrighty, let's swivel the monitor down so that you can see what I'm doing. Alright. First things first, we're going to take each of these papers and fold them long ways in half. Nice and accurate. And that one in half as well. Notice please, one of them's coloured, the other's not. So if you're using two colours, it works really well as well. Alrighty. So what we have to do is we now have to turn corners. So this corner on a 45-degree angle, turn it in. Nice and neat. This corner on a 45-degree angle, in. Notice please, that one that way, that one that way. So you make a parallelogram. Now what you've got to do with this is you've got to mirror it. So you've got to have the folds going in the opposite directions. So because this one folded that way, this one has to fold that way. Nice and sharp. Because this one folded that way, this one has to fold that way. Both layers. Alright. The next bit's a little bit tricky. Pay attention. So what I have to do now is I have to fold this middle bit on both of these sort of the same way. So we've got a guide line here and we've got a long edge here. I want to take the long edge down to this guide line and fold the entire model like that. Try and keep it so that it lines up. Do the same on my mirror. This line lines up with that line. Notice they're still mirroring each other. Alright, I'm going to flip them over because I've got to do the same thing, but I haven't got quite as much paper now. So this edge has to be folded down beside that triangle. Watch. I'll do it again. This edge against that little triangle. Allow the flap to flip through while you do it. So you've got two mirror images. Sort of looks a bit like an S. We've got to stack one on top of the other, but we need one up the other way. So I'm going to take the coloured one, turn it up that way. You notice that the lines here are a little bit different. We've got really big triangles, two of them. This one now has two little triangles and a parallelogram in the middle. That's cool, that's what we want. So now what I want to do is I want to put the one with the big triangles on top of the one with the little triangles, but I want them to be at 90 degrees to each other. So I want them to sit like that. So we've already got something that looks a little bit like a Maltese cross. But we've got to lock it together now. And the way we lock it together is pretty simple. It's the same on both sides. So we're going to actually flip it over in a little while and do it on the other side as well. You've got this pocket here. You've got this triangular flap here. You can bend that triangular flap down. That makes a nice sharp point, good for stabbing enemies. And then you can tuck that corner into the long pocket. Show you again. Was like that. Bend it over and tuck it into the long pocket. There's one done. We're going to do that 4 times. 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. So at the moment you can still swizzle it around and move it a little bit. I'd move it so that it lines up that little point there. Next, I'm going to take this triangular point, fold it up, sort of lines up with everything else, makes a nice sharp deadly point there, and we've got to get rid of this piece. It tucks in there. We're halfway there. All right, flip it over. And you'll notice we've got essentially the same thing here. So we have, you can still swizzle it for the moment, you can still move it around. We have a triangular pocket, triangular tab here, pocket there, and pocket on the other side. So let's do this one first. Bend along this seam. Make a nice sharp point. That's the stabby point. This has to be locked and it gets slipped into, you may have to flex the model a little bit, it slips into that pocket like that. 3 points locked. Another one. Bend it over. Last one's usually the hardest to get in. So I normally twizzle it around, flex the model a little bit until you can just get the tip in, and then slip in to lock. Now you have a ninja star. You can fling it. Try and not fling it at other people. It hurts. Let me do that quickly. You need 2 halves of a paper. Mirror images of each other. Fold it in half. Fold it in half. Corner down. Mirrored corner down. Corner up. Mirrored corner up. They're mirror images of each other. Now we do the funny S-shaped wiggle. So this is our guideline. This is the line we're folding it to. Fold the whole edge across to line up with that. Same on the mirror. Long edge, line up with this edge. Now flip it over, flip it over. Short edge lined up, long edge, this edge here lined up here. Let the corner twizzle around as you do it. Try and get my hands out of the way when I do that next time. This edge lines up with that edge, allowing this corner to flip through as you turn it. Nice and tidy. Now we're ready to lock them together. You remember how to do that? We need one that looks like that, 2 small triangles and a parallelogram. One that is flipped over, so there are 2 big triangles. You lay them one across the other. Now we're ready to tuck corners into pockets. There's a nice pocket there. Tuck that down so that it lines up, then tuck it into the pocket. Move this around a little bit so you can get at that one. Turn it down, tuck it into the opposite pocket. So what we're doing here is we're locking the model together. Sometimes you've got to move it around a little bit to let you do that. Alrighty, so that's now locked. We now need to even it up. Just move it along a little bit so that it's now nice and even. Flip it over and repeat the process. Tuck, bend, and flex, and tuck underneath there. There's your ninja star. Now it's your turn. Have a go. Come back when you're ready to try the next one. How'd you go? Did you manage to make one? Did you manage to fling it? You fling it a bit like a frisbee. Just try and not aim it at people because they're sharp. Second type of ninja star. I'll move Mr. Ninja over here for the moment. You've got to be careful of those tricky ninjas. Here's the second type of ninja star. I made this one in shiny foil. It's got 8 points and it transforms. So it actually slides on itself. So you can turn it from a ninja star into a frisbee. It doesn't slide very well with the foil, but it'll slide better on paper. It's easy to make, and you need squares of paper. I'm going to do it in 2 different colours so that you can see the process, but you need 8 squares of paper. Fairly small if you've got them. Too big and the resultant ninja star won't be really concealable in your pocket. And these are pocket weapons that ninjas apparently used. So, it's made up of a bunch of bits. I've got to show you the bits. Each of the bits is the same and each of the bits is really simple to fold. Show you how to work it. Take one square, fold it in half long ways. That's going to be a guideline. Open it up. Choose one end and fold the 2 corners into the middle guideline. 2 corners. Now close it up. So now you've made a point on one end. That's going to be the sharp bit. Next we've got to do inside reverse fold on this end. We've got to get rid of a triangle of paper on this end. Now what we're going to try and do here is make a rhombus, a special type of parallelogram. And the way we do that is we take this corner, same corner that has the pointy bit, we fold it up like that. Nice strong crease. Then you open up the model and you push that corner in on the lines you've just made. So one of the lines was already going in the right direction, one of them was folded in the opposite direction, so you have to reverse that fold. And the middle line here, you push it in and you end up with a rhombus with a sticky inny bit and a sticky outy bit. So that's going to be the sharp bit. This is going to be the bit that we use to lock all of the models together. So we need 8 of those. Let me make a couple more and then I'll give you some time to do it. Repeating the process, taking a square, same size as the one we've already made. It doesn't work if they're all different sizes. Fold the square in half. Open it back up. Sharpen one side by folding corners into the center. That's why the centre line is there. It's a good guideline. Try and be accurate. Close it back up. Next, same edge that has the point. Grab the corner at this end, fold it up 45 degrees to meet the top line. Now we have to open the model up. We have to push this corner in on those folds that now exist. We have to reverse this one and that one. That one's already going in the right direction. When we do, we tuck it, making no new folds, only using the folds that are already there. When you close it, you end up with an inside that looks like that. Make another one. Half. Sharp point. Close it up. Raise the corner. Make sure it's sharp. Nice good crease. When you get good at this, you can then start doing it in one movement. Your turn. Make 8. Right, how are you going? You need a bit more time? So do I. I've only made 4. I'm going to make another 4. Different colour this time. That way we'll alternate them. Have one going one way, one going the other way. Now it doesn't matter which order you do this in, so I'm going to actually tuck that one in first this time. Just because I can. Open it back up, sharpen the other end. As long as you've got all the folds in the right place, the order that you do them doesn't really matter. Right, there's my first of my second colour. And the next. Inside reverse. So that flap goes inside the model. That's one of the reasons it's called an inside reverse. Second last, nearly there. Inside reverse for the last one. Second last one, sorry. And the last one. Fold in half. Sharpen one end. Close it up. Same edge as the pointy end. Corner up, nice crease, and inside reverse fold. Alright, we've got 8 pieces. Next trick, sorry Mr. Ninja, next trick is to lock them together. So I'm going to do it in alternating colours just so you can see how it works. Now, it's good that they actually all are the same shape. So you'll have them all in the same way as well. So I'm putting them so that the inside reverse fold is up. I'll make some stacks. Alrighty. So, how do we get them to go together? Well, I said that is the pointy bit. That does damage when you fling it. this is a pocket, and you can sit another one inside it. So if I take that one, I can sit it inside the pocket. Make it sit all the way in so that it's nice and in that valley, and so that it sticks out just a little bit. See these sticky outy points now? We can bend them inside the one that's beside it. Notice those little sticky outy points? They go inside that pocket. Now that doesn't look very solid at the moment, but when you put the next piece in, it'll hold them in place. So I've gone green, orange, need another green. Take the green, lay it into the pocket, slide it so that it only sticks a little bit out for the moment. Then bury those tips inside the pockets of the green. Nice. Okay, so I've got a green and I want to now put in an orange. So I take an orange, lay the orange into the pocket, make sure it's sitting nicely, slip it so that it's only just a little bit pointy. Then bury these points in the pocket of the one we've just laid it in. Just bend them in. Again, that joint looks fairly flimsy, but these now are solid because there's something holding them and stopping them from popping out. At the moment there's nothing to stop those popping out. So that was an orange, need a green. Slip it in, make sure it's nice and straight. Bury those lock tips. Oops, that one didn't want to stay in. Sometimes you've got to encourage it. That was a green, need an orange. Now we're getting to the stage where we're almost back at where we started. That's a good thing and a bad thing because the last one is tricky to get in. Bury that tip, and orange must mean a green. Let it overlap, don't worry, green touches green at the moment. Make sure it's nice and well in. Bury the tip, bury that tip. Last one. The first part of the process is the same. We want to lay that orange one in and we want to bury those two tips in the pocket. The last one, however, has the pocket and we've got to get the one that we started with that has the tip and flex the model a little bit so that that now sits in that pocket. Then your smaller fingers will probably help. My big man hands make this hard. I've got to get that tip, that little tip, and I've got to bend it around in to the pocket. Do the same on the other side. And we're finished. So we've got a lethal frisbee. At the moment, you can fling it like that, flies beautifully. But if you hold opposite sides and push your hands together, something really cool happens. Grab another opposite side, push, grab another opposite side, push, grab another opposite side, push, and it transforms into a different type of star. Same on both sides. Looks really nifty. And if you grab the opposite sides again and pull very gently, the paper slides on those things that we've made and opens up. And if you're gentle with it, you can either, oops, okay, that point popped out, just tuck it back in. Does that sometimes. And you can see it transforms out to a big flat or a narrow one. Be patient, don't rush it. Try different colour combinations. Some of them are really cool. That one's fine. So, I'm hoping that your ninja now has weapons. Right, you definitely need to have a ninja. And nothing worse than a ninja that doesn't have any weapons. Hope that helped. Have a go.